Yeah, Doc, I think viewer discretion should be advised at this point. It makes for stomach churning findings. It is really traumatizing. I have intercepted numerous documents, samples of rice, bill of ladings, police reports, FDA reports, and other documents which confirmed beyond any scintilla of doubt, any iota of doubt, that our children in senior high schools have been fed with expired and contaminated rice. Let me begin by stating that according to the bill of lading I have here, the consignee, a company known as Lamens Investment Africa Limited, imported rice from India. The brand
Lamens, how is it spelled?
Lamens, okay. Lamens Investment Africa Limited. They imported rice, having been single sourced by the National Food Buffer Stock Company to import rice for the Free SHS Secretariat to serve our children in senior high schools. The rice was received by the 3rd of December 2021 at the ports, but could not be cleared for a considerable length of time. The notified party, as we have here on the original bill of lading, is the National Food Buffer Stock Company. It has emerged from unimpeachable findings that the National Food Buffer Stock Company Limited conspired with Lamens Investment Africa Limited to rebag this expired Moshosho rice. The Moshosho rice from India expired in December 2023. Seeing that the rice has expired, Lamens and the National Food Buffer Stock Company went into a conspiracy to have the rice rebagged, because they knew that if they sent the expired rice to the schools, headmasters will protest, students will protest.
They will see the expiry
They will see the expiry on the original Moshosho bag of rice. So they then secured 2 bags, different bags of rice. One largely an ECOWAS rice bag, and then a plain bag, 50 kg bag. On both bags, they wrote "Made in Ghana." Made in Ghana. No longer made in India, which is where the rice came from. They wrote "Made in Ghana." Then even worse, in flagrant violation of LI 1541.
So these 2 pictures, please help me. And yes, our viewers, you will see these pictures in the next 5 seconds. There's Moshosho rice to the left.
Yes, that's what was imported.
So this is the original.
Original.
Yes.
And you see the best before date, December 2023.
Yes.
Then they transfer it into this one, ECOWAS Sidao.
Yes.
And you see the origin, Ghana.
Wow.
Made in Ghana. And no expiry date.
Okay.
And this is what they sent to the schools.
And this was done by who?
This rebagging was not being done at a hideout, some secret location. It was done at the storage facility of the National Food Buffer Stock Company in Kumasi. Will you believe that?
In Kumasi?
In Kumasi. So,
the 22,000 bags.
Yes.
So they rebagged.
Yes.
That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So,
you have the evidence.
Yes, I have the
of
evidence.
Rebagging.
Yes, of the rebagging. Now, when they got to 15,000 of the 22,000, when they got to 15,000, one of the people involved, I think, had a conscience breakdown. So tipped off the Ashanti Regional Police Command that, look, we can't continue with this thing. So you go and check the buffer stock company storage facility. So the Ashanti Regional Police Command rushed there.
When was this?
This same Patriot, this was around the 20th of December, 2023. This same Patriot tipped off the FDA in Ashanti region. They also rushed there. By the time the FDA Ashanti region rushed to location, the storage facility, the police had done a good job. They had apprehended the people and closed down the facility. Then calls started coming from above that they should let the people go. The next day, on the 21st of December 2023, the Ashanti Regional Police Command wrote this letter dated 21st December 2023, signed by J.J. Boy, Superintendent in charge of crime in Ashanti region, addressed to the Regional Director, Food and Drugs Authority, Kumasi Ashanti. Say, request for assistance. The Regional Criminal Investigation Department of Ghana Police Service, Kumasi Ashanti, is investigating a case of being in possession of alleged unwholesome Moshosho bags of rice stocked at the National Food and Buffer Stock Warehouse, Buokrom, Kumasi. Investigations have reached a stage where sample of the suspected Moshosho rice needs to be examined to ascertain whether or not the rice has expired or good for consumption. I would be very grateful if your outfit could assist in examining the rice and report, counting on your usual cooperation, please. So this is dated 21st December 2023. They attach their samples. FDA in Ashanti says that they don't have the labs and the capacity, so they send it to Accra, the headquarters, for the samples to be tested. Doc and Nana and our viewers, would you believe that before the test results will come from FDA headquarters in Accra, an order came from above that they should release the rice?
The police?
No, an order came from above that the police and FDA Ashanti should just back off. And the children need food to eat. They should release the rice to the schools.
And who gave that order?
I know the person, but unfortunately, the evidence I want,
You don't have
nail
it.
the person, I don't have it yet.
So somebody told you, all right.
So I'm doing some work. Yes, a top official within the FDA setup told me where the order came from.
Okay.
Yes, who called them to back off.
FDA is the Food and Drugs.
The Food and Drugs Authority. So I have the evidence of release of the items.
Sammy, at this stage,
Yeah.
when at the time the samples were sent to FDA in Accra,
Yeah.
the bags of rice had not been distributed.
Yes, at this stage it had not been
And the
distributed.
police and FDA had taken control of the warehouse.
Exactly.
And the rice.
Yes, they had locked it up.
Okay.
Yeah, they locked it up,
Okay.
and they were seeking to contain it.
Okay.
To prevent it from going out.
Okay.
But then an order,
Awaiting receipt of the test.
awaiting receipt of the test results. But then an order came from above.
But Sammy, you must be careful.
Yes.
This order from above
Yes.
remains an allegation.
Yes.
Yes, but don't worry. When I conclude, you will
Yes.
see that it clearly
Yes.
was an order
Okay.
from above. So I hold in my hands here the release of the rice to the various schools, those who signed for them, the various headmasters who signed. So this is a confirmation that indeed.
Who released the rice to them?
So the police and then the FDA. And those who received it have signed. So you have company name, Lamens Ventures Enterprise, then the signatories of those who received it. This is for St. Monica SHS, Mampong, received 1st February 2024. 520 bags of the 50 kg Moshosho rice repackaged. I also have here my own alma mater, sadly, Presec Legon. He received 1,093 bags on the 2nd of February this year. I also have Konongo Odumasi SHS. And before I move to Konongo, let me state that, just in case, Randy, you think that your alma mater was exempted. So Presec is the central warehouse for Greater Accra. So when Presec receives, they share with all the secondary schools in Greater Accra. So your alma mater, Accra Academy, Achimota, Accra Girls, Laboni, Chemu, Tema, all of them will pick their supplies from Presec. Then I also have here the signed sheets of Konongo Edumasi Senior High School, who received theirs for schools in the Ashanti region. I also have here the Moshosho rice received by Bogatanga Senior High School for schools in the Upper East region, the northern part of Ghana, on the 2nd of February 2024. Doc. So by 2nd February, all the rice, the 22,000 bags of rice, had been released out of the warehouse, the storage facility of the National Food Buffer Stock Company. Now, this is where it gets so frightening and so tragic. By the 6th of February 2024, the FDA results come in. I hold it. 6th of February, 4 days after they had released. Yes.
Okay.
So they had released the rice, distributed to our schools, so recklessly, so callously, without knowing the outcome of the test results. So 4 days after, the test results arrive from the FDA. And I have the certificate of analysis here. I'll share them with you. Lo and behold, the certificate of analysis shows that the rice was unwholesome. It had a high percentage of the presence of insects, according to the FDA, is here. And it does not conform to standards, according to the FDA. The analysis, test results. And what they told me, very frightening, that this is rice that should not even be given to animals. That the consequences are dire. It can even lead to liver cancer. That this should have been destroyed. Unfortunately, this is after the fact. They didn't wait for the FDA examination results. They had already fed our students with these 22,000 bags of expired, contaminated food. Now, this FDA results confirms what the FDA wanted to do originally. I have intercepted their original internal memo of 29 December 2023.
The FDA.
The FDA, after the tip-off, where they recommended 3 things. Their legal department recommended 3 things that should happen. 1, immediately, they should stop the repackaging exercise. 2, contact the office of the FDA to initiate the process of safe disposal of the 15,000 bags of rebag rice. So they wanted the 15,000 bags disposed of, destroyed. Then 3, fine the company Lamens 150,000 Ghana cedis. This was the recommendation.
So the fine was for the repackaging?
For the repackaging.
Okay.
This was the original recommendation. This recommendation also changed.
To what?
To a reduced fine of 100,000. And then they said they will await the FDA results.
So they had established that indeed the company was rebagging.
Rebagging,
which
yes.
they shouldn't do.
Exactly.
So they are fining them 100,000 cedis.
Exactly.
For engaging in that illegal act.
Yes.
But in terms of the wholesomeness or otherwise of it, they wait for the...
Yes. And then the order comes from above, and they also cave in.
So they didn't wait for the results from Accra.
Yes.
And they released the rice.
And they released the rice.
Okay.
The FDA and the police.
And the buffer stock
yes.
distributed the rice.
Distributed the rice.
Okay.
The buffer stock and the free SHS secretariat.
They distributed
yes.
the rice.
And I have confirmed from the heads that indeed the rice came. Those are their signatures. One of them tells me that he raised the issue of the no expiry date. But
so this rice they received them in the ECOWAS bag?
Yes, ECOWAS bag.
Not the Moshosho bag?
No, not the Moshosho.
Okay.
Indeed, they are saying that until this expose, they didn't know that it was Moshosho rice.
They thought it was made in Ghana
They
rice.
thought it was made in Ghana rice.
Okay.
And you see what we do to the made in Ghana effort. If these children eat that rice they saw made in Ghana, they keep falling sick. And they graduate and they don't want to go near made in Ghana rice. Then you turn around and attack Ghanaians that we are not patriotic. We don't go for made in Ghana. But you haven't heard the worst.
Okay.
Randy. This company laments. I have done further work on laments. It has no track record. It was clearly set up for this deal. Set up just a few weeks. Today getting this contract on 30th July 2020. The directors are David Ajefi Mensah and Simon Ejay. And indeed, one of the directors, Simon Ejay, was on location at the time the police rounded them up. The director of this company. He was on location at the place supervising the rebagging. I have a letter here from laments to the Food and Drugs Authority, admitting their wrongdoing and agreeing to pay the fine. And they paid half. Let me read that letter. It's a short letter. 3rd January 2024, Food and Drugs Authority. Attention, Chief Executive Officer. Dear Sir or Madam, unauthorized repackaging of Moshosho rice. We refer to the above subject matter and your letter reference, FDA ASH 23099, dated 29 December 2023. We hereby attach payment receipt of 50,000 Ghana cedis, being half of the administrative charge levied on our company for infractions on sections 1031 and 1301 of the Public Health Act 2012 at 851. Yours faithfully, David Ajefi Mensah. Signed. So they attach the receipt, the 50,000 cedis. Will you believe that? That's all they have paid. All they have, the loss they have suffered, really, if you even call it a loss. A slap on the wrist, only 50,000 cedis for this attempted mass murder of our children. Only 50,000 cedis. They have not even paid the balance. Now, let's come to the laws. What does the Public Health Act 2012 at 851 say? If you look at section 103, the Public Health Act is very clear. It says that a person who manufactures, labels, packages, sells, or advertises food in a manner that is false, misleading, deceptive, or misbranded, as they did all of this, as regards its character, nature, value, additive, substance, quality, quantity, composition, merit, or safety, commits an offense. You come to section 106 of Act 851. It says that a person shall not manufacture a food for sale unless the food is manufactured under the supervision of a person with appropriate knowledge and qualification who can ensure the purity, quality, and wholesomeness of the food. So what they were doing at the National Food Buffer Stock Storage Facility in Kumasi, it should have been under supervision if they knew they had nothing to hide. The FDA, under the Public Health Act, the FDA should have been there. They should have invited them. They should have been there. They were not. When you come to section 130 of Act 851, it says that the person shall not manufacture for sale, sell, supply, or store products regulated under this part, except in premises registered for that purpose under this part. Are you aware that up to now, up to today, as we speak this morning, the National Food Buffer Stock Company has not registered 8 storage facilities across the country with the Food and Drugs Authority? I have here a full report that the FDA conducted on this matter. Very damning findings. Let me read the findings. And you see, this report exposes the Ministry of Education statement that they issued last night, saying that this has come to their notice for the first time by me, that they commend me and that they are going to commence criminal investigations. I said, please, can we be honest? This FDA report exposes the Ministry of Education that they were contacted several months ago.
How does it expose them?
I'm going to read.
Yes.
So, this is a report signed by the head of the FDA Ashanti region, John Laye Odai Tete. It says, report on a preliminary investigation on alleged unauthorized rebagging of rice by the National Buffer Stock. The Ashanti Regional Office of the Food and Drugs Authority received an alert on 20th December 2023 about repackaging rice, which had not been authorized by the FDA, being carried out at the storage facility of the National Buffer Stock in the Ashanti region. A team of officers were dispatched to the said location to ascertain the veracity of the alert for the appropriate regulatory action to be taken in the interest of public health and safety. Upon arrival at the site, the FDA officers detected that the storage facility had been locked down. When inquired from people around the facility, the team was informed that the action was taken by officers of the Central Command of the Ghana Police Service. The FDA team then continued to the police command for further discussion. The team, together with a team of police officers, led by the regional crime officer, moved to the facility to ascertain the veracity of the alert. These are our findings. The findings outlined below were arrived at during the preliminary investigation at the storage facility, as well as a meeting held with the Deputy Education Minister, Honorable Reverend John Intim Fojo. So why is the Ministry of Education saying that if I didn't put out this expose, they didn't know? A Deputy Minister of Education. And he continues, and two representatives of the importer, Lamens Investment Africa Limited, namely Eli Dogbe, Operations Manager, and Simon Ejay, Ashanti Regional Coordinator. They were all on site. They were initially arrested, and the order came from above that they should be released. Eli Dogbe and Simon Ejay. The FDA discovered that the Moshosho rice is 25% broken white rice with registration number FDA CE 20701 was imported by Lamens Investment Africa. The notified party is the National Food Buffer Stock Company. The rice was exported from India by Satya Balaji, the Rice Industries PVT Limited.
Who are the culprits in this matter?
The National Buffer Stock Company, the CEO, Abdul Wahab, must not get away. I hear he's your parliamentary candidate in Pusika. He has questions to answer because the people did not.
What's his name?
Abdul Wahab.
So
and then the board, you know, the board is chaired by Nana B, the MPP national organizer. Yeah, they have questions because they opened their facility. They conspired with Lamens. Lamens was not
rebagging
for the rebagging. It took place in their facility, and then they haven't registered this facility. They failed to call the FDA to supervise, as required by law.
Okay.
So National Buffer Stock.
But who gave the contract for the rice? National Buffer.
National Buffer Stock.
Yes.
Yes. So let me continue with this report. It says the facility had been repackaging Moshosho rice from its original yellow 50 kg polypropylene bags, figure 1, into white 50 kg polypropylene bags with the inscription Sidao ECOWAS, Regional Food Security Reserve, figure 2. Whilst the best before date on the Moshosho rice was December 2023, there was no date on the new bags being used for the repackaging. Additionally, the country of origin, India, had been changed to Ghana, thus concealing the identity of the rice. The repackaging exercise was carried out without FDA's approval nor supervision. The storage facility had neither been licensed for storage nor for repackaging. The facility had no qualified trained person to supervise its activities. According to the operations manager, 11,000 metric tons of rice was received in February 2022. This has been confirmed by 2 bills of lading attached. The consignment was originally kept in a bonded warehouse in Tema, Limburg, due to issues with tariffs. The quantity of the storage facility in Kumasi is 23,000 by 50 kg bags, whilst that at the Limburg bonded warehouse is approximately 10,000. Realizing how close the best before date was, Lamens Investment Africa Limited took samples of the rice to Food Research Institute to analyze for the possibility of extension of the shelf life. Having received a letter of shelf life extension from the exporter, the importer, according to the operations manager, wrote to the authority head office requesting for approval to repackage the said consignment of rice. However, no reply had come from the Food Research Institute. No reply had been received prior to the repackaging. A lawless lot. Lawless. Carlos. Medros. And as we speak, since February, nobody has been held accountable. When I spoke to the heads of the schools, they told me that typically these supplies can stay in the storage facilities for about 4 or 5 months, sometimes 6 months, before it's all consumed. You know that it's not consumed the same day. So if by January, February, FDA certified examination analysis shows that this food was contaminated in January, February, you can imagine by the time children are consuming this in March, April, May, June, July, because we all know that the longer it stays, the worse the contamination levels. And this is what we are doing to our children. And nobody has been held accountable. The only fake attempt was that 50,000. And after that, they are not even paying the rest.
And the rice has been distributed and consumed.
And consumed, all of them. And I've checked with the heads.
What were sent to the school were
they repackaged.
Yes, those that showed that the rice was from Ghana.
Was from Ghana.
With no expiry date.
No expiry date.
It was ECOWAS rice.
ECOWAS. I hope ECOWAS too is watching what Ghana is doing with their name.
So on the basis of your expose, the spokesperson at Ministry of Education, Kwesi Kwarteng, says an immediate investigation has been launched to determine the validity of these claims.
Well, the ministry has issued a statement.
Yes. And he expressed appreciation for your feedback, the call what you did.
Yes, as January
2024.
Yes.
The ministry was aware.
Was notified. And the FDA investigation committee spoke to Reverend John Intim Fojo, the Deputy Minister of Education, on this matter. So why are they pretending that I have brought this to their attention? That is why I insist that we need an independent, impartial investigation. So the Ministry of Education is complicit.
This was brought to the attention of the Deputy Minister in January.
In January.
But the rice was distributed in February.
In February. And look, the heavy political pressure brought to bear that this rice should be distributed came from the Ministry of Education. Let me drop that hint today.
Okay.
It came from the Ministry of Education. And I know exactly who did that. We will smoke them out soon.
So you say that you do not agree with the ministry's investigation?
Yes, I cannot trust that it will be independent.
This action even betrays their dishonesty.
Exactly. Because the report is here. The FDA report is here. Reverend John Intim Fojo is mentioned here. He was engaged on this matter. Unless the ministry wants to tell us that Reverend Intim Fojo didn't bring it to the attention of his boss and did not appear before this committee in his official capacity. Unless that's what they want to tell us.
Have you found out if this company has been paid or not?
Yes, they've been paid.
They've been paid?
They've been paid.
So it was a single source contract?
Yes, single source.
That was given to them?
Yes.
But you say that they do not have any prior experience?
No prior experience. This was their first gig.
Okay.
First gig.
Okay.
And you see how close it was to...
Okay.
They just, called cronies.
All right.
And typical of all scandals under this government.
Okay.
Called cronies, set up crony companies, no track record. But you see, this is lies.